You know the Crusades, holy war, Jerusalem, knights in armor. But if I asked you why it actually started, most people have no idea. The real story begins not with a battle, but with a letter. A desperate letter, written by an emperor who had just lost half his empire. In weather 071, the Byzantine Empire, the eastern remnant of Rome, was collapsing. The Seljuk Turks had just destroyed the Byzantine army at the Battle of Manzikert. Emperor Alexios I had one option left: ask the Pope in Rome for help. The two churches had split apart 17 years earlier. They hated each other, but Alexios had no choice. In 1905, Pope Urban II stood before a crowd in Clermont, France, and delivered one of the most consequential speeches in human history. He told the crowd that Christian pilgrims were being persecuted in Jerusalem. He told them God was calling them east. He told them that anyone who died on the journey would have their sins completely forgiven. The crowd responded with one word: Deus vult. God wills it. But here's what the speech left out. The Pope also needed to deal with Christian knights who were constantly fighting each other in Europe. He needed somewhere to redirect that violence. Land-hungry nobles saw the crusade as an opportunity to carve out kingdoms in the East. The poor saw it as escape from famine and debt. Everyone had their reason, and God wills it was the cover story. What followed was a chaotic, violent march across Europe and into the Middle East. Before the organized crusade even left, a mass of 40,000 peasants, led by a monk called Peter the Hermit, set off on foot with no supplies and no military training. They never made it. They were massacred before they reached Jerusalem. The actual crusade that followed was barely more organized, but it worked. The First Crusade captured Jerusalem in July 1099. The aftermath was one of the worst massacres of the medieval period. Eyewitness accounts described the streets ankle-deep in blood. Muslims, Jews, and Eastern Christians, all killed indiscriminately. And it set the tone for the next 200 years of conflict. The Crusades didn't start as a holy war. They became one. We told you Saladin's story last time. Now you know what he was responding to. This wasn't a war that came from nowhere. It was built over a century, by desperation, political ambition, and one speech that nobody could take back. Subscribe if you want the full picture. Next chapter coming soon.